I think this celebration so far, or just the part one, I should say, can be summarized as in 2 steps forward and 1 step back. For every 2 good things that happen this celebration so far, I think one thing holds back this celebration from being one of the best celebrations of all time. It definitely is high up there and it easily clears all of the other worldwide celebrations. But I think there is a lot to unpack that we're going to go ahead and look at. So I went ahead and asked you guys, I was like, what is your guys' thoughts on the worldwide celebration so far? And this I was going to use it for a video. And I talked about some of the stuff that I had issues with, but I don't want to talk about just my stuff at the start. I'd rather talk about what everyone else thinks. So we'll go ahead and look at that later. So LP said trash. Charlotte said, I think this theme is horrible. Broly by itself just isn't a good theme, especially proven as, in my opinion, I think a Second Coming Broly might be the lamest part 2 in the history of Dokkan. I like the events and the addition of Pity, and the Goku Gohan Trunks unit is really epic. I think that if it was like a... How do I phrase this? They have a lot of options that they could have done for Easy A's, and they had a lot of options that they could have done for content. And the fact that it's so dry makes it where I think that it makes it where it leads people to believe that it just doesn't have any options. SCR Future Trunks was just completely overlooked, who was a side variant for Broly. Tech LR Broly has an Easy A, did obviously. SCR Super Easy A. SCR Easy A Broly hasn't gotten his Easy A yet, or Super Easy A, excuse me. Like, all of these options can still be done, but they just refuse to do it. They can do the family Kamehameha Easy A's. They could Super Easy A those sideband units, and they could be the first sideband units that get Easy A's. There's so much that they could do, and they just don't. But again, it's just like, why save this all for part 2? Why couldn't some of this at least come for part 1? It's very frustrating, but I don't think it would be a bad theme. There's other themes I would have wanted and preferred for sure, but I don't think it's a horrible theme. Black said amazing units, but the content is lacking a bit. Could have given us some sub-easies to go with Broly, especially hopefully part 2 has way better content while having the same quality of units. I hope so as well. If we go ahead and look at the last worldwide celebration as well, I would say the second part had better units than the first part. Well, let me rephrase that. Future Gohan was better than part 1 units, but you didn't hear that from me. Dry as hell. Didn't the events we do get are so boring and easy that it's like they didn't even release in the first place. Unit design was great up until Broly. That's very true. I will say that the unit designs this year was especially good compared to last year, for sure. I do think that it is dry, and I don't understand why they didn't release some of the sub-ECs with this. It's alright, definitely the best for me summoning wise. I got the unit I wanted in a bunch of URs thanks to the 100 ticket summon. We're going to talk about that too. The 100 ticket summon is one of the major good things that happened this celebration. Issues I do have are Broly's EZA. Yeah, sucks a lot. Well, not sucks, let me take that back. I'll hold my thoughts. I think that Broly's EZA is too restricted, but we'll go on to that later. The likeliness of 2 LR Brolys in this celebration and Tech Brolys lead along with no sub-EZs with Broly. Yeah. It's not bad, but it's definitely kind of underwhelming in some aspects, like the EZA and the lack of missions to do. Hoping for part 2 or 3 to be bangers though. That's what I'm hoping for as well. And then let me go ahead and we can talk about this too. So Ridley said, I'm not a big Broly guy, so I honestly don't care that much. That's whatever. Yeah, I think that like everyone's gonna have a bias against something, right? The banners and stuff are pretty good, but the events are the Broly just feels like utter bullshit. especially if you're trying to complete the Paragus mission. Yeah, if you're forced to use a unit, it's gonna hurt, especially when the newest unit is a free to play. Or just biases for getting ads. I feel like we all have those biases, right? So let me go ahead and go into my thoughts and opinions. I feel like so far for like I was talking about, every 2 good things that happen, 1 bad thing happens. So the good things are stuff like the ticket banner being 10 times better. You getting the 50 unit multi is actually just insane. You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. Let me see. Where did I put it? There we go. So these tickets are actually just maybe the best free summons we've gotten of all time. I think it's fair to say that. Not only do you get 10 feature units, you also get 10 SSRs that have the potential to be LRs, or just new side banner units as well. If we go ahead and scroll all the way down here, we could see that literally it's just every single one of the top tier side banner units. Evil Boo is amazing. Fizz Gotenks can definitely put in some work. The King Vegeta is still really, really good. Golden Frieza can put in some work as well. I don't know if I would say I feel like Android 18 and Krillin don't really have a place on teams, but like all of those side banner units are really, really nice. SR Krillin is okay. We got some of the unfeatured LRs as well too. A lot of them can be easy A's up into the future as well. If we just go ahead and scroll down, we can see that. Obviously the old LRs I believe are on here. Yeah, like Bojack. Like all of these units are on here. SR Broly. So like get it. Having the potential to get those units is insane. And then if we go ahead and look at the actual feature units on this list, it's just, again, even more insane. Sure, the top of the list isn't too good. Like Physical Turles and AGO Kale is kind of dead. Tech Trunks only gets good showcase clips on Twitter. Dead. Found dead in Miami. Like, it's just not. World Tournament Goku maybe can get some use, I would say. Maybe. I don't know. I guess if you're using like an Earthbred Fighters, maybe the Z Trio can help out. Tech Bardock, I don't know. Like, it's just not looking good, right? But if we go to the bottom, and I actually pulled some of these units too. A lot of these units are going to be easy A's or sub easy A's, or not sub easy A's, super easy A's, whether it be now or down the line. For example, on this banner, I got Age Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who obviously got his super easy A. Then we have SR Broly, who I also got, who's getting his super easy A pretty soon. I got Physical Vegito. I got the STR. Where is he? He's not on the other banner, did it? Was it? Yeah, I got STR Rose. Like those units. I got those units. So when those super easy, because literally all of these are just like the order of how the super easy A's are probably going to be, as long as they follow some sort of guide, but they keep doing it out of order, so we'll see. And we haven't gotten a super easy in a while, but either way, the tickets are amazing is what I'm trying to say. Step up summons were crazy. I actually don't think I pulled them up, but you're just gonna have to go ahead and believe me. It has a whole bunch of side units that are really nice. Top grossing has changed for the better, making it where it's 3 or more countries on Android or iOS, and they count separately, is amazing. It means that it's going to be so much easier to get those 50 stones than before. And while we might miss out on like 14 stones by getting only 1 or 2 countries hit, it's immediately made up for the fact that 3 countries, or it's not 3 countries, 3 places getting top grossing gives us 50 stones. So here's the bad things. Global didn't return the Annie units, but JP did. I will probably say though that I understand, especially what JP players have been saying, of the units returned too fast if they did return them, and I get it. I know. We just had Annie, but it's supposed to be a Saint. And on top of that, I did want to talk about as well, for this major point, that the Gamma's not returning on Global. JP had the anti units twice now, while Global only had them once, which really sucks. And it's just like I don't want that. I personally like want to use some of these units, and I even made the suggestion of like, why didn't they just do it something like this, where if they were afraid that people were going to coin the Gammas or coin Gogeta in the next part, just make it where it was like Battle Hour, make it where the units aren't coinable but they're at least featured on the banner. This came out in January, so it's just like it doesn't make sense. Well, not that it doesn't make sense, it's a pet peeve, I should say. But like I said, others have made the points of, you know, it returning too fast, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not surprised that they didn't return. I'm just, you know, seeing JP have them and not us not have them is a little upsetting. So here are the other bad things. The Global doesn't return the anti units, but JP did. EZAs are bare minimum right now. We literally had one data download with only Is The Broly, and he just dropped in the game. The EZA we did get is super specific to an enemy, which should never be the case for Dokkan Fest EZAs. If we just go ahead and pull it up really quickly. Where are you? There you are. Oh, I can't click on it. What if I do this? There we go. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't like this portion of the kit. I get it, pre-EZA, he had it where it was a pure hybrid Saiyan enemy, but to then make it where it's just like, okay, or it could be a movie heroes, and then add an extra restriction on top of that, it's so dumb. Like, it actually is. It's so dumb, because then literally only this portion of the passive is going to not be restricted. Everything from this point on is all restricted. And it's so aggravating, because yes, I know there is going to be a final boss for this worldwide celebration, and that final boss is going to be a movie heroes Goku. It's obvious, right? But it shouldn't have to be making it where Broly is only dominant in one event. I don't like that. It's fine for sub EZAs. I don't really care if it's for a sub EZ, but this is a Dokkan Fest unit. Dokkan Fest unit shouldn't have these restrictions. Especially not to enemies, because you can't control that. It's bad if it's with a restriction for your allies on the team, but that could be worked around. But to make it enemies is just, it's so, because it just makes it worse. Like, you can't see this unit at full potential in any event right now. We have to wait. We have to wait. So in Broly dropped in for what? So we could take him into Gogeta and he won't have this portion of his passive towards the end of the fight, and you lose. It's just dumb. And then the greatly raising attack instead of it being greatly raising attack and defense. I don't know. I will say though, he does hit pretty hard on his active skill. When he gets 60% attack and then the type effective, he hits so hard. He's hitting like 30 million attacks. And then he's having it where he's doing like a 30 million super. So in that specific regard, he is good. Of him being an offensive juggernaut. But I would have rather him lose like the attack raising, greatly raising attack, and him just getting like this guaranteed. I would have taken that. Anyways, yeah, that's skipped over us here, Trunks. But I do want to go ahead and say that overall I am enjoying the celebration much more than last year, but the flaws are definitely showing. I also want to note that I am hopeful for the rest of the celebration. Like I do think a lot of things really good are gonna happen. But now I also do want to do a direct comparison too. If we go ahead and look at the celebration for last year, it's so bare bones this year. Like, okay, this is good that we got this instead. The step up summon. Because it means we got guaranteed stuff, but it's just better, right? And then not only that, but we don't have to wait till the end of the celebration to do it. We could do it in increments. Like that's good. And then the again, the tickets are just a plus. Where are they? Whatever. The tickets being added are just like an extra thing that is just like even better because of the 50 summon ticket. Like that, the 20 units at 20 SSRs just boost the counts so much that it literally makes it where I don't even want, before, because it wasn't guaranteed, I didn't want to use the memorial stones to summon more. I just wanted to get the character that of my choosing. But now it makes it where it's just like, oh, you know, maybe I should do this. The redstone, I would say, is probably comparable. I don't want to make assumptions when we don't have the EZAs for some of the characters right now. Like this S tier Super Saiyan Blue Goku never EZA'd, which is really funny. He super EZA'd, but I don't think it was during that. He didn't super EZA the celebration, so yeah. The purple stone, I would say, is obviously got an improvement too, but that's like paid stuff, so I don't really like to compare paid stuff with paid stuff. Step up sales again doesn't really matter. 3 stones. The events, that's what we have to talk about next. Okay. So if we go ahead and do a direct comparison, we got one stage of the Broly, which is a gimmick fight because you will need to kind of bring Paragus. And then if you bring a Super Saiyan Goku, he makes it where the event is 160% harder. And then the Supreme Magnificent Battle is easy, and then easy, but the mission is stupid. Because you have to use Exploding Rage, so they want you to use the newest units. But if you're not using the newest units, it really blows. Even the this part is so annoying. The 3 supers, oh, it's terrible. But then again, if we go ahead and look at it how it was last year, we did get more stages for the Divine Wrath and Mortal Will, but again, these were like super easy, right? They were not difficult in the slightest. But if we go ahead and look at the Dismal Future Stage 1 and Stage 2, 17 and 18 and Cell, I feel like Cell was pretty difficult in the fact that it was just a one stage and they did a 1.3 million super. A lot of the characters, and then also the attack raise too, a lot of the characters just weren't able to tank it, which is really funny. It's just like stage 1 was killing, or stage 2 was killing us, and then this part wasn't that hard because we're only on 1.2 million super and you had tons of time to build up. I feel like the only bad part was the fact that it was a 950,000 super on turn 1, but it was just like a thing that starts off super hard but then has like the smallest amount of difficulty jump. So yeah, I would say that last year we got more stages, but honestly it was harder last year for some of the stages. So I would say that it was probably better in that regard. What was I going to talk about here? Why did I pull this up? Oh, that's what it's the banners, but we don't really care about that. Alright, let's see. And we already talked about the memorable battle. Yeah, the memorable battle is basically how it was the other year too. So it's just, I guess you would just replace it with the Divine Wrath. But even then, like I said, I don't think this has been difficult at all. Yeah, I would say it hasn't been that difficult. But I only fought up to Goku and Vegeta so far. I don't think, yeah, the only issue is that, yeah, I have to do the missions for this and do videos on this, but yeah. What is it? Yeah, the mow them down. More missions, of course. Ultimate Clash. We can log in bonus is nice. Streams battle, but this is all part. That's part. That's the pre-celebration. And then this is the thing I did want to talk about. Not only do we get more EZs than we did last year, but it also EZA the sideburning units. Again, it's just something of like, why? Why didn't they EZA the sideburning units? We got both the AGL Zamasu, and then we got the physical Zamasu and Gawasu. Then we go over here, and it's the Tech Trunks, and then in my, even in part 2, we had tons of EZAs as well. It's 4 EZAs compared to the one that we got for part 1 of the Broly celebration. I don't remember what I clicked on that for. Oh yeah, and then if we just go ahead and do a direct comparison of the units, I don't even think there's no way you guys can argue with me about the units being better this year than they were last year. Hype-wise, you could probably argue maybe Vegeta Blue being better, and maybe I would argue that the leader skill last year was better, just because of the fact of this, the 3 key and 150 to all units, all super class units made it where it was just like you could run Bulma with these guys, and it was still pretty decent, right? The Battle of Fate Future Saga Power Beyond Super Saiyan was really nice, and then because you had Power Beyond Super Saiyan and Realm of Gods, basically any Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue character was able to be run on a team. And then also Future Saga and Time Travelers made it where basically every Future Saga unit was able to be run on a 200%. Then, and the only thing I don't really like about this character is the fact that you want a Movie Heroes or an All Out Struggle, but they only lead Movie Heroes as a extra 30%, and then the All Out Struggle is the 170. So again, it just doesn't make sense, right? But also Zamasu, I feel like they're like kind of in the same situation of just like we wanted a lot of buffs for them, but the thing is that Broly could at least be run with Saiyans, so it doesn't really matter too much. But Zamasu had to kind of be ran on Realm of Gods, right? He wanted him to always do that. Age-wise, I think that they're going to be the same though. Is the damage reduction as the first attacker, the guard. Zamasu is kind of like the same, where he's pretty unkillable turn 1, and then if you can, he has the infinite Zamasu, which makes him literally unkillable. And then Broly just has it where you transform, and then he's like pretty unkillable in slot 2 or 3. Slot 1, he can take some damage for his active, and then he gets the like 26% attacking defense, but post active he's fine, right? But yeah, Age of Blue Boys suck. We already talked about the event. We already talked about that. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've been liking the celebration a lot. And there has been a lot of good stuff that has been coming out with this. It's just that I just wish there was more. You know? I wish there was more. But as always, let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. Thank you as always for remembering. Comment down below what you guys think of the celebration, and I hope you guys all have a good day, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.